It was a busy morning at Kennedy International Airport in New York. People were rushing to catch their flights, rolling suitcases behind them, drinking coffee, and checking their phones. Security officers walked to the terminal, watching everything closely. Officer Mark Turner was one of them. He was a K-9 officer and worked with his dog, Rex, a strong, smart German shepherd who was trained to find drugs, bombs, and danger. Rex was not just a working dog. He was Mark's partner, and over the years, they had saved many lives together. Mark and Rex were doing their usual walk through Terminal 4. Everything seemed normal. People smiled at Rex, and some even tried to pet him. But Rex stayed focused. He was trained not to get distracted. Then something changed. As they passed Gate 19, Rex suddenly stopped. His ears stood up. He sniffed the air quickly. Then he started growling. Mark knew that growl. It was the one Rex only made when something was very wrong. "What is it, boy?" Mark asked, tightening his grip on the leash. Rex pulled hard, leading Mark toward a woman walking slowly through the terminal. She was tall, blonde, and pregnant. She wore dark sunglasses and carried 2 shopping bags in each hand. Rex barked, loud and sharp. People turned to look. The woman froze. Her eyes widened behind the sunglasses. Mark stepped forward. "Ma'am," he said calmly, "can I speak with you for a moment?" The woman didn't move. Rex barked again, this time louder. He was clearly upset. Mark reached for his radio. "I need backup at Gate 19. Possible situation." The woman finally spoke. Her voice was quiet but firm. "Is there a problem, officer?" Rex growled again. He started pulling harder, barking desperately now. Mark didn't understand. Rex was trained not to bark like this unless there was real danger. But she was just a pregnant woman, wasn't she? Or was something hidden? More police officers arrived quickly. People nearby were told to step back. The airport staff started clearing the area around Gate 19. The woman stood still, holding her shopping bags. Her face looked calm, but her hands were shaking a little. Officer Mark saw that. Rex kept barking, louder and more desperate. His body was tense. His nose pointed at the woman's stomach. "Ma'am," Officer Mark said again, more firmly this time, "I need you to place the bags on the ground slowly." The woman did as she was told. She set the bags down carefully. "Now," Mark continued, "please raise your hands." She hesitated, just for a second. But in that second, Rex barked again, louder than ever. His body crouched, ready to jump. His teeth showed. He wasn't just alert, he was afraid. The woman raised her hands. Mark moved closer, keeping a careful eye on her. He spoke softly into his radio. "I need a female officer to perform a check. Something's not right." The other officers looked confused. "She's pregnant, Mark." One whispered, "What could be wrong?" But Rex wouldn't stop. He pulled on the leash like never before. Then something happened that made Mark's heart stop. Rex whimpered. It wasn't a bark. It wasn't a growl. It was a sound full of fear. A warning. A desperate cry. Mark knew then this wasn't just a nervous dog. Rex had smelled something. Something dangerous. Something deadly. The female officer arrived and gently asked the woman to step into a private area for a check. The woman said nothing. She simply walked forward. But Rex wouldn't move. Mark held him back, confused. "What is it, Rex?" Rex stared at the woman's stomach, still growling softly. In the private room, the female officer began the check. She carefully scanned the woman's body with a handheld device. When the scanner passed over the woman's stomach, it beeped. Not once, but 3 short beeps in a row. Beep, beep, beep. That was a signal from metal. "Ma'am," the officer said, "I need to touch your stomach. This is just to be safe." "No," the woman said suddenly, stepping back. The officer paused. "Excuse me?" I said no. Her voice was louder now, sharper. Then she reached into her coat. The moment the woman reached into her coat, both officers acted fast. "Hands up!" Mark shouted from outside the room, drawing his weapon. But it was too late. The woman pulled out a small device, smooth, black, with a red button on top. The female officer backed away quickly. "Put it down!" Now! The woman didn't press the button. Instead, she held it close to her body. Don't come closer, she said, her voice cold now. This is what it looks like. Mark tried to stay calm. Then help us understand. What is it? It's a trigger, she said. If I let go of this button, something terrible will happen. Everyone froze. Rex stopped barking and let out a low whine. The scanner had beeped over her stomach. But was she really pregnant? Mark's mind raced. He looked through the glass. The shape of her belly, something seemed off. Too perfect, too round. The woman saw him staring. This isn't a baby, she said, with a strange smile, but it will make a big impact. Bomb squad officers were called immediately. Everyone in the terminal was evacuated. The woman stayed in the private room, holding the device tightly. Mark felt sick. All this time, they thought she was just a pregnant traveler. But Rex knew. Somehow, Rex knew something wasn't right. Tell us your name, Mark said, trying to distract her. Doesn't matter, she said. Why are you doing this? She didn't answer. The bomb squad arrived and set up equipment to scan her from outside the room. The report came back in seconds. There was a bomb. It was hidden under a fake pregnancy suit. Wires metal in a small explosive device. Cleverly disguised. She had planned to walk through security without being checked. No one would search a pregnant woman. But Rex had smelled the truth. Mark clenched his fists. Can we disarm it? Only if she lets go, one bomb expert said quietly. But if she does it too fast, it could explode. We're running out of time. Mark looked at the woman through the glass. She was sweating now. Her hand, holding the trigger, was shaking. Listen, he said gently. Try to reach her. You don't have to do this. You're scared. I can see that. She blinked but didn't answer. Tell me your story, he continued. There's always a reason. For a moment, she looked like she might speak. Then her face changed. Her lips tightened. I made a choice, she said. They took everything from me. Now they'll listen. Who's they? Mark asked, but she closed her eyes. Rex barked once, sharp and loud. Please, Mark said again. Don't let this be the end. She looked at him. Then finally she spoke. My name is Lena. My husband worked for a company that cheated people, stole millions. He tried to expose them. They made it look like an accident. Then they came for me. Tears filled her eyes. I tried to go to the police. No one believed me. I lost everything. So I decided if no one would listen, I'd make them. Mark's heart broke a little. She wasn't just a villain. She was someone who had been deeply hurt. But this wasn't the way. The bomb squad was preparing a plan. They had a device that might be able to jam the signal from the trigger, but it was risky. We don't know the tech she's using, one tech whispered. If we block the wrong frequency, it might set it off. Mark shook his head. Too dangerous. Then he looked down at Rex. Rex sat perfectly still, watching the woman. His ears were up. His body was ready. Rex knows, Mark whispered. He's been trying to protect us from the start. The bomb expert leaned in. You think he could take her down before she lets go of the button? Mark nodded slowly. If she hesitates, just for a second, he'll be fast enough. But if he fails... Mark swallowed. Then it's over. There was silence. Finally, the team gave him the go-ahead. It was a last chance. Mark opened the door, just slightly, and gave Rex a command word in a soft voice. Rex moved like lightning. Rex launched forward with incredible speed. His body was a blur of fur and power as he charged into the room. Lena's eyes went wide in shock. She had only a second to react, but that second was all Rex needed. He jumped, his powerful jaws locking gently, not to hurt her, but to push her hand upward, away from her body. The device slipped from her grip. Time stopped. The button was released. Everyone held their breath. But nothing happened. The device hit the floor and rolled. No explosion. No smoke. No fire. The bomb squad rushed in, grabbing the device and surrounding Lena. Mark ran in behind them. Lena fell to her knees. She didn't cry. She didn't scream. She just sat there, empty. It was real. One bomb tech confirmed. But someone disabled the core. She must not have known. It wouldn't have gone off. Mark looked down at Rex, who now sat beside Lena, watching her closely. He wasn't barking anymore. He just sat still, guarding her, as if he knew she wasn't truly evil, just broken. Epilogue: A Hero's Bark. Later that evening, the airport reopened. News reporters rushed in with cameras. Headlines began to spread. 9 hero saves hundreds at airport. Dog senses hidden bomb on woman, disguised as pregnant traveler. Officers praise brave German shepherd, Rex. But to Rex, none of that mattered. He didn't care about the attention. He was just doing his job, protecting people, sniffing out danger, and being the silent hero. Lena was taken into custody. She would receive help, not just from the justice system, but from doctors and people who truly wanted to listen. Her story was real, and now the world knew it. As for Mark and Rex, they went home that night tired, but thankful. Mark gave Rex a steak dinner and sat beside him, rubbing his head. "You save us all, buddy," he whispered. "You knew before anyone else. You saw the truth." Rex wagged his tail. "Sometimes heroes don't wear capes. Sometimes they bark,